Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MeanieMania post-show extravaganza. I am Josh Chernoff, and I am joined, as always, by my Mind of the Meanie co-host, MeanieMania. Look at that. The Blue Meanie is here. Blue Meanie. It's MeanieMania, baby. Night one.
Just night one. Great night of action. We're watching here live along with everybody else. We saw a great main event. And we have many things to talk about.
Yes, that is for sure. But before we start talking, I think that it is important that we bring in one more guest onto this. If anyone's familiar with the Mind of the Meanie podcast, then you know full well that it's not just the two of us. No, we have Mrs. Meanie as well, and we're going to bring her in on the Mrs. Meanie cam. Mrs. Meanie. Where are you?
Am I broken?
You are broken, Mrs. Meanie.
We're going live, pal.
Well, we've lost Mrs. Meanie. No, you know what? I think I figured out what's happening. And we're going to get to Mrs. Meanie in just a moment. Bear with us. I promise it's going to happen. Mrs. Meanie is going to be here. And she's going to be here momentarily.
We're live, pal.
So here, you guys are going to see all kinds of fun behind-the-scenes stuff, like how we set up camera modes and things like that, because we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, and it looked like Mrs. Meanie is back. She's back.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Meanie.
We're supposed to do a fun reveal. Ready? So, this is regular.
Mm-hmm.
And then
hey,
this.
Mrs. Meanie, how's it going? It's Luna Vachon. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Remember the time your balls fell out on Raw?
Well, yes, I do, Luna Vachon.
True story. That's really a thing she shouts at him, or shouted at him.
The first time Mrs. Meanie met Luna, first time meeting my wife, Luna promptly asked if I remembered when my balls fell out on Monday Night Raw. I was like,
which is a valid question.
Oh, yeah. That's a good icebreaker.
Listen, when I met her, I was so scared. I was so excited, and I'm such a fan. And he said, be careful, she bites. And I was like, what?
Yep.
She bites. And she gave me a hug. Once she realized who I was, she gave me a hug, and she gave me a little neck smooch. She did not bite me, but that's what she does. She bites.
Yeah, Luna was a biter.
But she gave me a little smooch, and I was like,
wow. Well, I got to tell you, look, it's MeanieMania, and Mrs. Meanie is bringing back memories of Wrestlemania 9 to me. When Luna Vachon came to the ring, kind of with Shawn Michaels, kind of not. It wasn't entirely clear. He didn't really acknowledge her. But we'll do a kind of a formal Mrs. Meanie. There it is. Now we can see Mrs. Meanie is here. Man, night one. What'd you think, Meanie? What'd you think?
I thought it was a solid show. It seems like somebody might have went to Buffalo Wild Wings and called for a rainstorm. You know, those infamous Buffalo Wild Wings commercials where I wish this game would go longer. Somebody said, man, I would love to delay WrestleMania. Can somebody start a rainstorm? And somebody went to Buffalo Wild Wings and they made it happen. But, we started like 45 minutes late. And that's the things that happen when you're working with Mother Nature. Mother Nature is the ultimate booker. She delayed the show. She pulled the fire alarm, so to speak.
But it was perfect. Honestly, it was such a it was a giant rib by Mother Nature. After what was it? 1 year, 1 month, 1 day is what they said from the last time they had an audience. And to just be like, okay, we're here. Vince McMahon announces everyone. We have America the Beautiful, which was done beautifully. And then we go to this amazing video package. We're ready. The excitement is there. And what do we have? We come to the announcers, and there's just there. Exactly. You could hear the announcement over the loudspeaker. It was God, if I would give a lot of money to be able to see it behind the scenes of what was going on with Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and the likes during that moment.
I'm sure we'll see a day of documentary.
Oh my God.
Peacock Network.
You have to, yeah. Man,
Yeah.
so subscribe to the Peacock. So I should say we are doing a simulcast. What 20 years ago was very impressive on the last Nitro. Today is not without its hiccups, but we got it all worked out. Man, we are here. We are live right now. People are joining us on Fight TV. People are joining us over at youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie, and people are joining us over at facebook.com/Mind of the Meanie. We're live everywhere. We have made it incredibly easy for people to find us, so much so that you can't even hide from us. But no. we're gonna talk all things WrestleMania Night 1. So Meanie, let's kick it off here.
Well, first of all, while we have Mrs. Meanie here, Mrs. Meanie, design and makeup and gear is like her favorite thing.
Yep.
Every year, and like Halloween is her WrestleMania. She gets dressed up and everything. Hence why we have her tonight as Aluna Vachon. Let's get Mrs. Meanie's thoughts on tonight's outfits.
This outfit is very painful. Actually.
Speaking of
so is mine.
My normal voice now.
I have a question. Is this an outfit that you kind of purchased in pieces to make this, or is this just some stuff laying around the house that you have?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I can tell the neck collar is definitely, that was Meanie's. It was just...
These two things I bought, I added the chains.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered these. This is a swimsuit top that I stuck a bunch of shit to. And then, can I switch it?
You can say whatever you want.
This clip, actually, so I watched that WrestleMania, and she had, because I didn't know how I was going to do a strap. I need a strap. Because I got
you can say whatever you want, but you definitely need a strap, or that might get us thrown off Fight.
So
and YouTube, not Facebook. They'll do anything.
And you fuck off for a second. So I had to find something to hold myself up, and I actually, these suspenders I bought for my Roadkill outfit, because he has suspenders, and I actually used them for Santa Claus, because suspenders again. Okay. And so, but I saw her that WrestleMania, she had like the same clip. I was like, I have that. Oh my God, I have that.
That's awesome.
So I just kind of cobbled this together with some things I had. I made these gorgeous earrings. They're like,
you made them?
They're skulls, and they're like puking spiders. Oh, it's so cool.
It's so Luna.
It's so cool.
That is awesome.
Also kind of very me. I do have the rat tail, but it didn't look good. I looked like Brian Knobs. Like, it was not. I looked like a nasty boy. I was like, maybe not. So it's a little more homage than accurate.
I'm impressed.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'm impressed.
Really?
But did anything impress you tonight? Kid Lahi is on there saying nice tie, Josh, which I appreciate. But we also have a lot of people talking all about the Luna gear here. We have James Sorensen. How about the whip? If we can talk about that for a second before we even get into the gear. In the main event there, Bianca Belair at the end broke the sound barrier when she smacked Sasha Banks right with her hair. Man, if people don't know who I'm talking about, that sentence made no sense. But she just slapped her and just cut her right up on her side. She whipped her. That's all you can say. She whipped her. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit though about your favorite. We're gonna do top 5 here. So let's start with your 5th. What is your 5th favorite gear of the evening?
I mean, listen, no particular order. because I just made some notes. I'm surprised I even have 5 because I was kind of busy.
Yeah, right.
So
well,
I did
yours is number 1 to me. Yeah. So.
And some of these things, it's kind of funny because like some of these things I don't even remember. I mean, I have Bianca. Bianca made the list. That lavender holographic. I don't know if you can see. I really like sparkles. I am a holosexual, really.
You're a what?
Nothing. I also loved the New Day gear. I like how Biggie had the old timey pink and blue. That's my favorite. But they had the like Buccaneers. They had that like.
Did you notice what it said on the back?
No, I don't think I did.
It said 2020, and the 20 was then crossed off and had a 1 put next to it.
But they had mohawks. Like
yes.
I'm into that. So yes, that I always like their gear. Who else did I do? Oh, Drew McIntyre. I liked his kilt thing happening. We just got our ancestry results, and we're related now. So I mean, me and Meanie are related now.
To each other or to Drew?
No, to each other.
Cool. So don't have kids, but otherwise.
Would never. So anyway, no, we just did our ancestry, and I am Scottish now. So I had to pick the kilt because that's my thing now. Yeah.
So the kilt, that's number 5. That's number 5 for you?
No, I think that was 3.
Okay.
Right? Because I did Bianca, New Day.
Okay, New Day, Drew McIntyre. Who else do we have?
I'm going to pick Miz and Morrison. Even though I love Damian Priest. I like the purple. I like that he got his hair did. He's my buddy. Like, no big deal. But Miz and Morrison, they had the Swarovskis, girl. They were blinging all over. My favorite.
Welcome to my life.
And number 5 is Booker T's Raleigh Fingers mustache.
Yeah, that man's mustache has really become something. So let's talk about the show though. Let's thank you for that, Mrs. Meanie, and I'm excited to see all the gear and what your top 5 choices are tomorrow night for night 2. We will be here night 2.
I'm really like hardcore ADD, like big time. I have less face tomorrow. It's fine. I have less outfit tomorrow. This was the big one.
No, this was fantastic, and I'm glad that you did this.
Tomorrow's B team.
So we're gonna talk.
That's rude. I don't.
What? What's happening here? We're live, pal. Here we go. So Jonathan Chambers says, love the finish for the Drew match. Love the support for Scotland, Mrs. Meanie. So let's talk about the Drew match.
Yes.
Solid match. It was fun. It got started a little late because of the rain. I don't know if that kind of threw them off a bit, but I'm sure they eventually got in the zone there. Great finish.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, I wanted Drew to get that moment. And I know it doesn't matter. I know in reality, it doesn't matter because Drew's got so many moments ahead of him. And if that moment happens, next year in the biggest WrestleMania of all time, they're going to have the most people they can cram in there in Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that much better. Maybe they're waiting. And I love the fact that Bobby Lashley, after all these years, Bobby Lashley is finally a main event star. He's not a flash in the pan. He is what he should have been a decade ago. Maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe they weren't ready. But the time's now. Everybody's ready now. So, Meanie, what did you think about that while I crack open a soft seltzer? Do you have one to crack open too?
Oh, yeah. I have one from our good friends at Ugly Drinks.
Ugly Drinks.
You got one too, Mrs. Meanie?
I got one too, you guys.
Nice. Well, so what do you have? What kind do you have? Now, Ugly Drinks, obviously, they're the best. You can't beat them. So much so that I drank all of mine and I'm waiting for another package to come in the mail. But in the meantime, I have Mandarin Orange, Wegmans brand.
What do you got?
What do you have?
White peach ginger buble.
Oh.
And I got the lemon lime ugly. I'm going to Sandman it.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Nope, 2 hands.
Very nice. I did the 2 hands because I realized my tie could. Now, this tie was made for last year's WrestleMania. That's why it only has one sword.
What's on the bottom? Is it? Oh, okay.
It's a ship in
That's
the water.
fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It looked
Yeah,
like
the person who does my ties did an amazing job on this one.
I could only see the top. It looked like a rowboat.
Oh yeah, it's two people about to kiss in a rowboat is what it looks like from right here. I totally, yeah.
Silhouette, kiss the girl. Come on.
Yep, I was just gonna say that it's a little romantic scene out of The Little Mermaid. But no, it's a ship. She did an amazing job on this one. It says "So says Chernoff" instead of WrestleMania.
So good.
Mrs. Meanie didn't care for that. Vanessa says, I have Budweiser. So all right.
Show off.
Hey, listen, this is a late night and I still have to get up tomorrow morning. I was going to break out one of my Not Your Father's root beers, but I would fall asleep on the air. But let's get talking about it. So that match. So are we all in agreement that was a good finish or no?
I do. I like the finish. The match seemed like it started a little slow. These guys were the first match after a major rainstorm, so I think they were trying to feel out the situation within the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because it was wet there.
It was. I felt so bad. One of the girls coming down for the tag team turmoil match slipped. I want to say it was
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose, and I felt so bad for her because those aisleways, you're fighting gravity and going down. I think in that opening match, some of those guys were feeling themselves around, feeling the atmosphere in the ring. But like, if you could take two guys who look like you, if you were going to make this mythical movie of two gladiators, two guys who were carved from granite, these are the two guys that are perfect. Two hulking men and battling out, and of course I wanted Drew to win. Me and you have like a personal connection with Drew, and Bobby Lashley's awesome, but I was kind of pulling for Drew just because we had that personal connection,
right? But, and that's kind of the thing. It's like I think it was more there was that like personal side of me that really wanted to see Drew Galloway get that moment. But from a character standpoint, this just builds his character.
Absolutely. He might have lost the match, but he totally did not lose. He
still won our hearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drew's such a total sweetheart, and I was so personally invested in it that like I was biting on the near finishes and stuff like that because I wanted to see Drew.
You were Luna Vachonning all over those finishes.
Yes, I was.
But and look at that, man. I gotta tell you, best eyebrow game going on right now. It's usually me or you, Meanie, but half of Mrs. Meanie has just taken over. Got a little Abe Vigoda going on there.
Yeah. Hey, that's moving to my territory.
Juice man.
I think I'm excited to see where this is going to go. But you talk about if you look at two people who look like gladiators, we both were WWE, WWF homers. Like that was our thing growing up. So we grew up with the Vince McMahon mantra of they need to make you turn your head in an airport, Yeah. And when you look at the match for the WWE Championship, you look at the two of them, and these are guys that walk into a room and someone goes, they're either pro wrestlers, football players, or bodybuilders, and I think that's really nice to see as much as, especially as a smaller guy myself, comparatively. I love seeing the smaller guys have their success. And I don't think the size should limit anybody at all. But there is something that had that extra feel, that extra old school Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior feel of having these two behemoths, these two, muscled up guys in there. But unlike a Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior, these guys can both go. They did moves that were just Drew flying over the top rope, but it was a good match. I thought it was good.
They're both hybrids of the classic look that Vince loves.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who can move. It's
Yeah.
not rocket talking robots.
Yeah, and the nice thing about them is they don't move well for big guys. They just move well. Because you hear that a lot. They move well for big guys. But so let's move on from that one. Talk a little bit about the. We had a backstage segment with the NWO and Bayley. I love Bayley's enthusiasm. Not really sure about this ding dong thing.
She might be impeding on a little bit RJ City territory here with the new character. So
yeah.
a little bit. She's got a little bit of Ruth Buzzy on the match game going on. So I'm dating myself with that reference, but YouTube it.
Yeah.
Not now, but after this YouTube video.
You were dating yourself a lot before Mrs. Meanie came into your life.
Oh yeah. That happened.
Yeah. We've all been there. We've all been there. It's called high school, college.
Yes.
What? No, I mean, so then a tag gauntlet match took place.
Tag team turmoil.
Yeah. I thought it was actually fine. I thought it was a decent match. Talked about a little slippage. Look, back in the day. What's that?
That was the one with the broads.
Yes.
Yeah, the one with the broads.
So the one thing that I want to say is that, if DraftKings had a WWE category for who's gonna wear Joker-inspired gear, I'd probably be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott definitely representing multiple types of Joker, which was cool. But I thought that was fun. And I actually pointed out, I was watching with my wife, and I pointed out to her that sometimes with the women, they don't, their outfits, while always incredibly detailed, sometimes are lacking uniqueness. They're lacking, whereas the men seem to have much more of a specific look to them. And I talk about when I was a kid, I would draw wrestlers. You're sitting in school and you're drawing pictures and doing things like that. And I was looking at them Tamina, if I was going to draw Tamina with her gear, I would look at it and be like, well, this is the same thing I would draw if I was going to draw Nia Jax. It's the same type of gear. And I don't know. So, yeah.
Listen.
I'm listening.
Bad girls, the big heels, they wear leather. They don't know how to you know what I mean? That's how they always put them in leather. It's kind of
it's also tough for them. It's tough for them because guys have the choice.
Then the other thing with the women is they all had different hair for a long time to tell them apart. You know what I mean?
They all have the same thing pretty much.
It was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I want more. We all want better for them. We love them. But the joke is everybody does the Joker. Come on, Josh, wake up.
Everybody does the Joker.
Everybody does the Joker, especially for WrestleMania. It's the Joker.
Well, I mean, who else has done it other than Rey Mysterio? Anybody else do it?
I don't know his name.
I feel like someone else did.
Yeah. It's been done.
Yeah, it's been done. It's a thing.
You hear that, Riot Squad? It's been done.
Ruin my joke. Although it was super cool. I do love them.
Tamina and Natalya with the Riot Squad stole that match, Ryan says. Yeah, I mean, I think so. It was good. It was a decent match. And of course now, the winners of that match go on to face the tag champions tomorrow. So that'll be exciting to see. I suppose. And then, but to me, the action was decent, and it really drove home again how damn far the women's division in the WWE has come.
Oh, absolutely. They're great. They're the women's revolution has come such a long way. From the days of the divas, and they're doing pillow fights and bathing suits and stuff like that.
It was funny, and it was like funny when we were like, it's the bathroom break. But when a little kid said that to me, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like that.
That's not so funny. It's not so funny because that's not what you want to show.
And you know what? Right? Like, it is for the kids. It is. People are like, oh, well, you didn't put over it. Well, it's not for you. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why John Cena was massive, and people were like, boo, John Cena. Because the kids loved him. The kid, like, it's not for you. It's not for you.
That's a valid point. It's not for a lot of us.
I love how far they've come.
Yeah.
The women. I love it.
Speaking of people who have come a really far way, Cesaro. We have Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
What this could potentially be such an enormous launching pad for Cesaro. I just hope that it is. It should be. It could be. But will it be? We have seen that start and stop with Cesaro before, but never. I don't think we've ever seen as a singles competitor something like this at WrestleMania against a guy like Seth Rollins, who is a big player in the WWE, and for Cesaro to defeat him cleanly at WrestleMania, that was cool. And I think Cesaro, there's a lot of future with him if they do it the right way.
Yeah, man. It's long overdue. I mean, Cesaro has always been a proven commodity in WWE, proven competitor. And I'm surprised it wasn't done a decade ago when he was killing it with John Cena. Him and John Cena were killing it in every match they ever had.
Well, that's the thing. It should have been done a decade ago.
It should have been done, and it's almost criminal that this was Cesaro's first singles match at WrestleMania.
Yes, but at the same time, you do have to factor in that he was involved in some pretty awesome tag teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Between, the Bar, and then also with Tyson Kidd. So it's not like
one of my favorite tag teams. Yeah, that was one of my favorite tag teams.
So you have to look back and remember that it's not like he was just kind of like thrown in there like they did like more recently with like Nakamura and things like that. It like didn't make any sense. Right. He was a part of some really great matches. We're seeing popping up on here a lot of the people who are joining us here. Travis, best match of the night. Loved all the reversals. Hope they do a rematch. Well, if I know WWE, they're going to do a rematch 15 times until you go, yeah, I'm pretty sick of this.
Highlight of the match for me was Cesaro busting out the UFO move. The spinning.
How cool was that?
The spinning torture rack, and then when he put his arms down, he just kept spinning. That was amazing. I want to give somebody credit, and their name escapes me, but they talked about how they saw Cesaro do that at a Ring of Honor show back in the day, and they approached Cesaro, be like, "Hey man, why don't you do that move more?" And Cesaro says, "I'm saving it for a WrestleMania." And that's I'm blanking on the name. I wish I could give you credit, the person who I saw on your Twitter feed, but I'll remember for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty cool. Great match. Was that
Rob Naylor was the gentleman who
he did it.
Rob Naylor doesn't even know her.
Rob Naylor used to work for FCW, and he worked in NXT. He helped Bray Wyatt develop his character in the early days, and he helped Bray Wyatt find his initial ring music. Rob Naylor knows all those guys. He's in the system. And like he was talking about, he brought up to Cesaro, how come you don't do that UFO more often? He's like, I'm saving it for WrestleMania.
And he did it with the right guy, because Seth Rollins is someone who, I mean, it was so smooth and flawless. Digging Seth Rollins' new music.
Yeah.
I like this whole character. I've always been a Seth Rollins fan, but I was not a fan of the the Burn It Down. I still think that's kind of weird because it came from a video game. So it's like, yeah, it came from a commercial for a video game.
I'm a fan of the old Burn It Down music just because I'm a metalhead, and the double bass in that song is amazing. So, that's a good song to get a speeding ticket to, but I do like his new ring music as well.
Well, it's kind of like a hybrid between that and the one that he had, the slow one he had for a little bit last year. So
yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one, but this one is pretty good. Pretty good.
It's good. It'll grow on you, Meanie. So next up we had the tag title match. We had New Day. I do want to say there's a backstage segment earlier during rain delay, and Big E pops up in the middle of New Day's promo. So we have New Day comes out there with Big E does the introduction for them, which I love. I love the fact that they didn't break up New Day. That New Day, they didn't split them up. They just separated. They went to different brands, but they're still doing their thing. I love it. And when he announced how many times they have been tag team champions, it's like, I remember, clap for your world famous 2-time champs. Like it was yesterday. Yeah. And here we are. What is it, 11-time champs? Or something like that. So it was pretty impressive.
The New Day situation right now kind of reminds me of the Freebirds back in the day, where Michael Hayes and Buddy Jack were going for the tag belts, and Terry Gordy was going for the UWF heavyweight title. So they're still a unit, but they're just in different categories right now. Yeah. One's a tag team, and two are a tag team, and one's a singles competitor.
And Big E is doing great singles. And I thought New Day did an excellent job in there with AJ Styles and Omos. Almost. And
because I wanted to say no mas.
Yes, Omos. Forgive me. What did you think of him?
He was booked well. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. This was his first match, first real match. And they used him wisely. And the New Day did great selling for him and selling his size.
Yes.
Future will tell how it works out. What can you do with a guy that big? I know when I've always had to work guys who are, like one time I had to do a match with Giant Silva. I was like, man, what do I do? But New Day are very talented. AJ Styles real talented. Omos is surrounded by good talent, and they'll lead him really well.
I think that looking at Omos and versus like a Giant Silva, I mean, there's a difference in the athletic ability, I would say.
Yeah.
And Omos seems like this is a legit athlete, and that's something. Great Khali, Hall of Famer. Great Khali, not a great athlete. Don't pretend that he is. You know what I mean? He was not a good wrestler. And Travis says, big guy. He's a big guy.
Big guy.
Hey, was that guy from a few years ago? It was like a picture of him and Triple H, and we were all like, what?
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
Like, new class at NXT, everybody, or at the training center or whatever. And we were like, wait a minute. Like,
who is that giant?
But again, I mean, he is this
big, then that guy's like this big.
You can't teach height.
No.
You can't teach size. And not to sound like Enzo here, but you can't.
Thing.
You can't. And that's the thing. If you can teach him all the other things. He's got some raw athletic ability. You can tell he does. So you have that, and you have that size. Like, holy crap, this guy could be amazing one day. He could be absolutely amazing if they book him right.
Eventually, you're going to have to book him up against like a Braun or something like that, where Braun could be the one to give him a problem, so to speak, and the irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Well, before we talk about Braun, let's well, this is interesting. Ryan saying, I'd love to see Omos be the moving big man like Taker was. Yeah. But now this dude's 7'3".
Slow and brooding.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I remember when he was first coming to the ring, I'm like, oh, I guess he's not wearing wrestling gear. But then he was. He's rocking that Reverend Devon style look.
Yeah.
Like he really it was a legit, it was spandex, but it's button-down shirt. I saw you there with The Undertaker, Mrs. Meanie.
I have my toys.
I have my toys, too. They're right here.
You do?
Yeah.
Ta-da!
That's me. Here, I'll switch it this way so it works. That's me.
Are those
and
available?
The Blue Meanie.
These
are available if you're outside the U.S. For pre-order at cellatoys.net, and of course available inside the U.S. at mindofthemeanie.com. These are retro style figures depicting myself and the Blue Meanie, as we can be seen on our podcast. The Mind of the Meanie can be seen right here on Fight every single Monday evening, but you can get the podcast wherever podcasts are gotten every Monday. We have a great guest this week on our show, Giovanni Hamilton.
Not me though, right?
No, you know, show.
Thank God.
But Giovanni Hamilton is our guest. Great kid. We had a blast recording.
Just sweet.
Great motivational story. So check that out. Mind of the Meanie. Go to mindofthemeanie.com for all that stuff. We don't need to plug anything else. I'm not going to go into a whole watch So Says Chernoff on Fight every month. But anyway, hey, here we go. BWO for the Hall of Fame.
Hey, let them know. It means more if other people say it.
Yes.
I would not turn it down.
No.
No. Speaking of Giovanni needs to get the Warrior Award next year.
Yeah, one of our Pod Squad members put that out there on Twitter and tagged all the McMahons and everything. So, that's something we'll have to start really pushing for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as Travis says, Giovanni for the Warrior Award, hands down, without question. But let's talk a little bit about, we had the SmackDown Tag Team Champs, the Dirty Dogs, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And Dolph Ziggler did something that I cannot stand. He referred to the belt as gold. He referred to it as being draped in gold. And I know some people are going to go, well, what if it's platinum? He's not draped in gold. And if you're wearing something that looks silver and it's gold, call it platinum.
Yeah.
But
he is a heel. So he drew that emotion out of you, Joshua.
Yeah, I guess he did. I'm just a big freaking mark.
No.
Hey, here's one. How about this? Here's someone who
we're belt marks.
We are. That's the thing, and that's what infuriates me is that all belts they should be gold. If they're the world championship.
No one that's hanging on the wall behind.
No, if they're the world championship, the one behind you looks awesome, but that is a commemorative, decorative championship. It's representative of a championship career, but it is not your championship belt.
I know. I'm just Joshua.
So am I. It's late. But let's see.
This is the part of the party where all the drugs kick in and everything you say is money. It's pretty cool.
I am. Okay, so I do have this note here that I wrote down where talking about championships. This is during the WWE title match. Michael Cole, a friend of the show, said you can't become a legend or Hall of Famer without being WWE champion. So I think the majority of the WWE Hall of Fame begs to differ, but so that was a statement.
I'll give him the benefit of doubt. Hopefully somebody fed him that line and he just had to say it. But
and here's what I have to say. If you're, look, he was probably up at 3 a.m. He probably had a super long, day. So if you're going to critique anything he says on commentary, please,
easy there, Dave.
Please don't. Anyway, okay, James Sorensen, what are you doing here? Eric Bischoff's drink of choice is Jameson enjoyable drink. Let me tell you something with your picture of you and Bischoff on here, okay? You no-showing son of a... James Sorensen was a guest on our podcast at one point. He's a Patreon member, and we love him dearly. Well, then. We're back, kind of. Not sure what happened. We lost the feed, and things seem to be a little topsy-turvy here. Turvy? That's not right. Turvy? Topsy-turvy? Turvy? Topsy-turvy?
Are we still live? Are we still streaming?
I don't know. I think we're streaming. Are we streaming, everybody? It says we are. James Sorensen says, I'm sorry. Did you cut our power, James Sorensen?
Yeah, man. The power of the Sorensen there.
So let's go on. I'm going to do a little live check ski to see if we're live and on the air. Still there. Okay, so we're still here. We're live and well, folks. Everybody says. Travis thought his internet was effing up. What happened? I have no idea. It was probably, I don't know, Meltzer.
Who knows?
Anyway.
Not me. I didn't even move or anything.
Man, we have, I feel like the MeanieMania Day 1 is a snake bit as WrestleMania was looking in the beginning. Technical difficulties all the way. But James Sorensen apologized for, he'll take the heat on this one. It was Meltzer. But yeah, so anyway, look at that. James Sorensen, did you purpose? Oh no, you're logged in through YouTube. Okay. Yeah, turvy. It's topsy-turvy. Is that what I said the first time?
Yeah, topsy-turvy. That's right.
That's right. And then it sounded weird when it came out of my mouth. Which, all right. So anyway, we're back, guys. What is happening here? All right. So Michael Cole was wrong. What else is in our notes?
Mechanism, baby.
Yeah. So let's talk about Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Man, that's a match that felt like it didn't need to happen, in my opinion. It seemed rushed and weird that it was even put together. Shane came back. People were excited to see him again, and then he's just mean. Why are all of our lower thirds up here?
Kind of the same thing that he does all the time, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Our lower thirds are, a little goofy.
It's fine. They're just there. Oh. And she's back.
And she's back.
What is happening?
My lower thirds are a little goofy.
Your lower thirds
it's
are...
all the spikes. Listen, it's like all in my armpits and like I got a corset on.
Do you need to take a powder?
I have a corset on too.
I'll sit just like this the whole time. I'm so pretty. Look at.
Hey, you were.
James Sorensen says
No,
Josh was cutting a promo on me. It was weird. James, we love you.
You're all right.
I don't know where to look. I'm having a hard time.
What is? Okay.
I get the ultimate thing with the Shane and Braun show, Braun Strowman match. It was anti-bullying, which I'm all for.
I'm all for it too, but it was
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Well, I think they're playing off the real life story of when Braun did his life documentary where he was bullied as a kid. And they were trying to, they like to try to do things off of real life.
But no one wants to boo Shane McMahon.
Right. The match wasn't bad. But yeah, like you said, it was weird. I do like the fact that they had it in a cage because the whole purpose of a cage is to keep them in the ring. And Shane kept evading Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a good way for Braun to keep Shane in one spot and
so
not
much
run
so
away.
That he actually ripped the cage apart. That was cool. Then he ripped the cage apart to bring Shane back in.
He opened it like a can of sardines.
Yes, I thought that was actually really cool. The bump was a nice bump off the top.
That was good.
Yeah, but and you knew it was going to happen. He's going to do something like that. I wonder if they've got plans for Kevin Owens to jump off of the.
I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know how Kevin Owens is going to jump off the pirate ship because they built a pirate ship in front of the one he wants to jump off of. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like he can just jump off of the other one now then, right?
The whole point is he's been like scouting that pirate ship for years. He's posted photos on social media. Kevin Owens has, soon, that, like the meme soon,
Yes.
And then somebody posted a photo and he's like, this poses a challenge.
It really is one of those situations where you've kind of like everyone is excited for it. Yeah. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be a letdown.
Why can't they just thumb wrestle or do a dance off?
Because they had to pay me a royalty.
They can
protect the gimmick, kid.
They could do some double dutch.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. I hate all the high stuff. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I just want everybody to do their best. I want everybody to do their best, and I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
Speaking of everybody doing their best, at this point in the night, a bunch of bunnies come to the ring.
Do you think they were all from Adam Rose? Do you think they were his old
the one missing the ear was definitely.
There was a couple missing ears.
Yeah, I want to know the story behind that. Give me a day of for where their freaking ears went.
Well, they're a bad bunny. They only have one ear.
Oh, they're not good at it, so they only have one.
They're rejected bunnies. The land of misfit bunnies.
Oh.
But
they all came out, and then you had hip hop ho ho hip ho, and it was cool.
Yeah.
Those guys are awesome.
What I love about Miz and Morrison is they're not afraid to be true heels. A lot of people when they're heels, they want to get that. They want to have that tweener pop, where Miz and Morrison don't want you to boom, and if you boom, they'll tell you to shut up.
You mean cheer, yeah, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. If they cheer you, because
they don't want you to.
Holy bunnies, that was.
Some heels when they get cheered, they play up like a babyface. Like, no, be a heel. Yeah. And Miz and Morrison are true heels. The truest heel. You don't have to like them, but you got to respect them for their dedication to being true heels.
Now, what did you think of? I know you're a big fan of Damian Priest, personal friend. What did you think of his showing and Bad Bunny's showing? And I think that when we look back on the career of Damian Priest, it's almost going to be kind of forgotten that this was his WrestleMania debut because of the fact that it was involved with Bad Bunny and Miz and Morrison. That I think he almost was the fourth wheel, because of who was there, not because of his talent or anything, but just because of who was there.
So if I could give some veteran knowledge,
yes, please.
The position Damian Priest was in, people are like, "Oh, why is he with Bad Bunny?" Putting him with Bad Bunny is a huge vote of confidence from the office that they know they can trust him to make this crossover artist look really well. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact that Damian Priest was down at the PC training Bad Bunny in the ring how to wrestle each and every day. And I know Damian Priest from our days at the Monster Factory, where I am a trainer. And Damian is so good that he became an honorary coach. It was me, Danny Cage, Bill Wiles from ECW, QT Marshall from AEW, and Damian Priest. And we all had it. Like, for instance, we all had a hand in help train Matt Riddle. Luis was right there, helping and coaching Matt Riddle. So,
Luis, who's Luis?
Hey, Faye, brother.
Luis is Damian Priest.
Man. We'll wait while you pick that name up off the floor, Meanie.
Hey,
stop picking your head.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh, no. No, you can't say you can't pick your nose because we're live on the air.
Well, Damian
Oh my God, this whole
Priest.
time.
Damian Priest is not only a great wrestler, he's a great leader and a great coach. And everything that happened with Bad Bunny in the ring, Bad Bunny looked tremendous, and that's just a testament to Damian Priest, not Luis. Damian
Yeah,
Priest.
Travis, I thought his real name was Punishment. It was Punishment Luis Martinez. That's his real name.
Well, it was Punisher, then Punishment, and now it's Damian Priest. Which
It's like this guy's name is the Blue.
Yeah. My first name's the middle name Blue.
Excuse me, the Blue.
Yeah.
What? I've definitely referred to Sabu as Mr. Boo. Excuse me, Mr. Boo.
That's awesome. So Damian Priest, the other, I thought it was really good. I thought Bad Bunny definitely. He wasn't there to grab a payday. You could see he was there to work. Yes, Mrs. Meanie.
I think that I really, really hate that they're like, he's a lifelong fan. Like, not like, oh, he's been working to do this. It's like they picked him up off the street, which like I know it's not true. You know what I mean? And it's like, but I saw a couple, I didn't get to spend a lot of time on the internet tonight to see what people had to say, but I saw a couple people who were like, yeah, all right, he's working his ass off.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you wish they would have put over how hard he worked to get to that point.
Like they just kind of, it's like, oh, we picked him up off the street.
Which guy are you talking about? Are you talking about Damian Priest?
Talking about Bad Bunny.
Yes,
Bad Bunny. Okay, yeah. Well, Bad Bunny, I mean, look, they acknowledge who he is as a star. Right. But yeah, I agree. Like, instead of he's such a big fan, so we'll put him in a match. No, I would have loved to have seen some footage of him in the PC.
It's like, that's why we shouldn't be rude to him because he's one of us. Like,
well, that's what they're trying to do because that's the WWE is always trying to, to put themselves over when celebrities like them. And here's the thing with him, while some jackasses will refer to him as an ethnic celebrity, others might just call him a celebrity. I don't know. That's just me. But Bad Bunny definitely is a celebrity that is not as well known in the States as he is in other parts of the world. And I've seen posts online where people are saying like there are a lot of people in the United States going like, I've never really heard of him. I don't really know who he is that much because he's just kind of breaking out here. And other people are like, yeah, he's a huge freaking deal. Again, I don't think that makes you an ethnic celebrity like friend of a show Dave Meltzer would say. But but yeah,
your pal.
Yeah, my good pal Dave Meltzer. By the way, check out So Says Chernoff here on Fight from last month if you want my feelings on Meltzer. And check it out again this coming month. Travis says, I was ready to shit on this match, but Bad Bunny actually impressed me. He looked all right. Not perfect, but he shouldn't look perfect. That's true. He shouldn't look perfect. But I was actually really impressed with him. I thought he did a great job. Yeah. And the reality is one other thing about Damian Priest is, there is an audience outside of the United States, and that audience is huge for professional wrestling. And that audience who knows Bad Bunny and is familiar with Bad Bunny just gave the rub to Damian Priest as a mainstream talent. And when that's not, we might not see that here because he's not as big of a mainstream talent in the US. But
he's there. He's getting there.
That's a thing I talked about on one of my latest videos on our YouTube channel. I did the favorite WrestleMania entrances, and I just kind of talked about like you might not agree, and certainly he's not a musical guest. He was, sure, but like you might not agree with whoever they bring in for like WrestleMania as the like musician. But that's going to bring in eyes that are coming in for like Sia and Flo Rida or whatever, POD. But that's my favorite. But
no, you're right. You're right, though.
Bringing the fans of the music and maybe they'll stick around. Maybe they'll see their Ricky Steamboat Macho Man and fall in love like we did when, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when Aretha Franklin brought us in the door. But no,
tune in for the music and you might stick around. You might see that life-changing Undertaker might come to life again. That's what got me.
But Undertaker what?
The first time I watched Raw, I guess, was when Undertaker came back to life. Tyson was inducted into DX. It was a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And
anyway.
that was your hook.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, and you never, you mentioned Tyson. I mean, he's a hook that obviously AEW is currently hoping he's going to be a hook for them, and he was a hook back in the day. When you're a fan of somebody, if you're a fan of a musician and that musician loves something else, you look at it and you go, maybe I should love this. I love what they do, so maybe I'll love what they like, and maybe I'll give it a chance. Maybe if I think this person's so great and I don't really get wrestling, well, maybe I'm the one who needs to take another peek at wrestling. So it makes a lot of sense. And it's
a smart move.
Yeah.
To bring, because you can't always cater to the hardcores because the hardcores will always be there no matter what. The dedicated wrestling fans, when you're making money when you bring in the common, the casual fan, when you're bringing in the casual fans who are bringing in the more money and stuff like that, because dedicated fans like me will watch no matter what.
You're always gonna be there, no matter how bad it is.
No matter how many times we threaten to cancel the network.
Hey, I don't want to say anything, but I don't have the network anymore.
Every week.
So
you say this every week. Yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Like Peacock, like people were like mad. Like, why are you mad? Like you get more stuff.
More stuff for the same price, if not cheaper. And
there's
a learning curve. I get it.
Now I'm okay.
Here's the problem that I've had with Peacock. I'm not joking. I've gone on to the app to be like, you know what? I'm gonna check out some network stuff. So I go on Peacock, and then I'm like, maybe I want to watch Parks and Rec instead. Maybe I want to watch The Office instead. And I end up putting something else on, and so that's the one negative is there's so much great stuff. Or a show will pop up, and I'll be like, oh, that's probably on my DVR. I didn't realize that had come back with new shows. And then I'm like completely deterred away from watching WWE. But no, it's a good move all the way around. Let's talk about the main event.
Absolutely.
This was a special main event for a lot of reasons. But you can't not acknowledge the fact that this was the first ever one-on-one singles women's match to ever main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And that it featured 2 African Americans.
It's awesome.
Cool.
And would have been cool. Would have been cool last year. Would have been cool next year. But man, this has been a year that
talent. Talent
is talent, and it's nice to see. It is nice to see that representation because we can sit there and say, well, talent's talent, so it's just good. Talent should be treated. But the same way that Mrs. Meanie said before, how it bothered her when a kid was like, oh, this is a bathroom break match for the women.
Right.
It says something to not have, for a little African-American girl who already is looking, who wants to be a wrestler one day and is already looking at it going, I want to be a women's wrestler. God, I'm never going to make it to the main event. Oh, and I'm black, so maybe I could make it, but there's only 1, or maybe there's 2. Well, now you've got way more than 2, and you've got 2 of them main eventing. Representation really matters. Really, really matters. Whether you're black, you're Asian, if we're talking about sexual orientation, representation matters in all forms of entertainment. It really does. And professional wrestling, which is just, professional wrestling should never be the thing to alienate anybody because it is the world of misfit toys. You know, like all of us fans, all of us wrestlers, everybody. This should be, we always talk about Mind of the Meanie with the podcast, that Mind of the Meanie is for everybody. And we've got no tolerance for people who don't have tolerance. Tolerance for no tolerance, if you will. There's a t-shirt for you.
Slicker.
But I was really impressed. Travis says Michael Cole yelling that they are black women was kind of jarring. Well, first of all, Michael Cole has the whitest sounding voice that there is. So when he's going to sit there going, and there's black women, like, you know, that's all right. But the thing is, and sometimes I think for a white guy, you don't want to seem like you're trying to be woke, as the kids say, you know, like you're saying it to make it a thing. But I'm glad that it was pointed out, especially because, gosh, who could have known, you know, just by looking at them? That's sarcasm, because you could know by looking at them. But he felt he needed to yell it, and that's okay.
They had that special moment right before they locked up. They looked at each other. Oh, man. The genuine emotion. Mm-hmm. And
Bianca Belair, she started crying.
Yes.
And you could see Sasha Banks was trying to not have that emotion, and you could see that emotion creeping through. She was trying to be the badass heel and all that, but that came through, and that little bit of break in the fourth wall, something made it that much more special, I think.
I have to say, man, there's something special about what the WWE does with their their documentaries. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was already a big fan of Bianca Belair, and then to watch her documentary and watch her personality show through the real her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she makes her own gear.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yeah, all right.
And she's legit like strong. She's carrying Otis around the ring and stuff like that.
Dude,
man.
What about the strength she showed tonight?
She's a beast.
Like, I get that. I get Sasha's not exactly Otis.
Right.
But
Otis,
but still, man, that was impressive.
Yeah.
That was really impressive. And the stalling suplex where she bounced her off the ropes and then held her again and then squatted with her and like
that's core strength right there.
Yeah.
That's
like Travis
really
says, how crazy strong is Bianca?
Ridiculous.
Crazy strong.
If I can make a comparison, Bianca and Sasha circling in the beginning kind of reminds me of Rocky 3 when Rocky and Apollo are going to do that little sparring match.
Oh, and there's love and respect between the two of them. But
respect, and Rocky's like, all right, who you gonna ring the bell? Ding, ding. And then like if freeze frames with them throwing the punch at each other and cue Eye of the Tiger. That seemed like a special moment between two friends right there.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me think of that scene from Rocky, which was awesome.
That's a really great point. I thought the match was solid.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. The emotion got me so much in that beginning part.
What wrestling is, wrestling's emotion.
But it got me so much that I, in the beginning, was like almost nervous for Bianca Belair. Like I was nervous that she was going to be too nervous and screw something up. Like because I was feeling what she was feeling. And
you're invested.
Yeah. And the moment I realized I was feeling what she was feeling, I had this like epiphany of like, oh damn, she got me. Like she just did her job. And I know those emotions were real, but she hooked me.
Don't do that.
And that's that is rare nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's something
everybody wants to think they are. Sometimes when you let your guard down, they reel you in. Yeah.
And I think that someone asked me on a podcast recently, like changes I'd make or things like that, and I think that I've believed for a while now that you pulled the curtain back on wrestling. You talk about the documentaries and how amazing they are, what WWE puts out, but you pulled that curtain back. So we're not going to buy the product the way we used to because you've pulled the curtain back enough that you, the WWE, have now educated us on what's real and what's not real. Yeah. So the emotions for me now are when you have these stories that are being told that are generating that real emotion. Bianca Belair, that meant something. You know, Drew, we talked about our personal connection with him, but that match meant something. I was invested because I felt that personal connection, because I wanted Drew to have that moment. Legitimately, the human being, I wanted him to have that moment.
Yeah.
And just because we know him personally,
we went to IHOP with him one time.
What's that?
We went to IHOP with him one time. He sat across from me at the table. We're best friends now.
Well, I'm really happy for you. That's cool. We went to Waffle House, so I don't know. But and I didn't get a flat tire. Or no, you didn't get a flat tire either. Your car just
thanks.
I did get a flat tire coming back from a different place though with him.
Hey, speaking of documentaries, did you guys see I saw the trailer for that, what's his face? The super fan. Vladimir, is that his name?
Yeah.
I want to say Vladislav, but that's a vampire. Vladimir, the super fan. They have like a new network documentary coming out about that guy.
Amazing.
Who I have no clue anything about, except Mike Johnson posts the picture of him all the time.
Yeah. Vladimir the Superfan is somebody, he's been spotted in the crowd more times than Wall.
He's been around since the beginning of time, apparently.
I was so excited to meet him. He was just hanging out in the lobby at WrestleCon a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And Calvin and I walk up. We're like walking up, we see him, and I'm just like, is this weird that I want to go take a picture with a fan? But this is a fan that I saw on TV all the time. My friends and I used to be like, how is he here again? How is this guy always here? We used to we all knew who he was, and I did take a picture with him actually. And
they gave him an award.
They gave him an award, like a legit WWE belt.
Triple H and Stephanie gave him like a plaque, like a Superfan first official.
It's a giant plaque that has like the middle plate from the belt on that. That's so cool. That's so cool.
He deserved.
Yeah, he deserved. He absolutely did. God, he spent enough money on tickets.
Yeah.
That least you could do is get him a freaking. They couldn't even get him the whole belt. But no, the plaque's even cooler. Honestly,
there was a collar and elbow BWO in the front row.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only representing Collar and Elbow, but the best shirt at Collar and Elbow. That's the Collar and Elbow BWO takeover. Collar and BWO bow. Wait, LBWO. There it is. Yes. So that's really cool. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com if you want to pick up that shirt and look like a guy in who went to WrestleMania.
Actually, I found the guy on Twitter and thanked him for representing, and now we're Twitter buddies.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man. That is cool. That's actually, I'm sure for him, really cool. But really cool for you too, man, to get that representation out there. Slightly different than the representation we were talking about earlier, but still very, very exciting. Legitimately, it is so late that my voice sounds condescending no matter what I say at this point. I'm trying to say genuine, nice things. I'm hearing myself. I'm like, dude, stop being an asshole. And then my head's going, I'm not being an asshole. I'm being honest. And then, but it's not coming out that way.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
But yeah, that main event I thought was an excellent match. The whipping at the end with the the sound of that.
I think that was it might have been an NXT thing that she used to do.
She used to do that back in the day. Yeah.
Somebody called it. They were like, I hope she does that thing. And then they were like, look, she did that thing. I called it.
Yeah. It's
that thing left a welt, man.
Holy crap. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to get some nice close-up pictures of that.
I'm sure there's some right on Twitter right now.
Yeah. But man, I thought it was a good match, and I'm so happy for her. I've never met her. I know it seems like we're just dropping names left and right. I have never met her. I do not know her. We've never, crossed paths. I'm so genuinely happy for her because you could just, from the documentary, but also just right then and there in the ring, holding up, she yelling to her mom. Yeah, her dad almost jumped over the guardrail. Like it was,
I was about to say that. Her dad was jumping so hard he almost landed over the guardrail. That was a genuine emotion, man. That's what this business is about. Emotions. We sell emotion, we emote emotion, and the fans emote it back.
I do want to say, Ryan says, this is late night waxing philosophical, sir. Kind of like late nights at IHOP, which is very, very true. Also, I would say it's waxing philosophical, but it's actually using Manscaped. Manscaped.com, promo code MeanieMania20.
I used that buzzer for my head.
Did you? The Lawnmower 3.0?
It has not been used on the blue weenie yet. So
Did you say the blue weenie?
What?
It's late.
I would never.
Man, no, I don't know if that's a t-shirt we're allowed to have on ProWrestlingTees.com/MindOfTheMeanie, but
how close it got. It's
Mind of the Meanie After Dark.
So they were kind enough to send me the 2.0.
I needed a smaller razor to get around my, which this is not staying. I'm probably gonna go bald again for the summer. So
this looks cool though.
Wrestlemania and Monster Mania kind of happen around the same time, and I like to have hair in case I need extensions for costumes and stuff. So this is costume season.
This is MeanieMania,
and this is costume hair. This is my Luna hair. So
I think it looks awesome. And they had sent me when they were sponsored my show before, back in the day when they had the Lawnmower 2.0. I had that and I had never used it because I had a different lawnmower from them. But I had the 2.0. I had the one, the original. I had the 2.0, and then I now have the 3.0. But that 2.0 had never been used. And I went and the beginning of quarantine, I shaved my head with it. It was,
there you go.
And it was great. It was better than my regular razor.
It is.
Yeah, it was really good.
Listen, I like to have a little fuzz because I am a lady. I like to have, I don't like to, because when I first wanted a mohawk back in the day, he was absolutely not. He thought I was going to go Mr. And he's he thought I was going to be like Mr. T. And I meant, this looks like my original mohawk that I had. Yeah. It's very wide and fluffy.
From what she meant and I imagined, it was two totally different things.
But he was like, are you going to pick it? And I'm like, no, I'm a lady. I don't know.
I do want to say, Ryan says you actually got me looking into Manscaped for things. Ryan, we really appreciate that. And definitely use the promo code MeanieMania20 and save yourself 20% and get free shipping.
20% is a lot. Are you sure? That's awesome.
I just went on there and bought the nose hair trimmer.
Yeah, we all thank you for that.
I got the Abe Vigoda going over
here. You're like, hey, Josh, I think I got a new high def camera. I'm like, hey, listen, Manscaped has these new.
My nose looked like a straw man crotched himself on a picket fence.
Oh man,
like a pretty fever. So
well, I can't believe so many of you are still on here watching this, but thank you so much.
I'm sure it helps.
What?
Hold on.
What? There it is.
There we go.
That's all. Oh, man. Well, hey, listen, night one WrestleMania was a blast. Night two comes to you tomorrow. Hopefully sans rain. So that we'll be able to get this thing started a little bit earlier. But we will be back on Fight. We will be back on YouTube, and we will be back on our Facebook, facebook.com/MindOfTheMeanie. Of course, it's youtube.com/MindOfTheMeanie as well. We're excited to be back with you tomorrow.
And I'm gonna ruin your show again tomorrow.
No,
hey!
There's no ruining.
It's impossible.
No, there's no ruining. You didn't ruin anything.
I'm really pretty, you guys. Can you believe?
Yeah, you clean up well.
Wow. Well, that's that then. Yeah.
Very
it's
It's a great time, great show, great talking with everybody. Thank you to everybody for your feedback. We appreciate the comments, and it's all about having a good discussion about the things we love, and that is pro wrestling. So
yeah, hands down. We love pro wrestling. We love Wrestlemania, and we love all of you for tuning in with us here for MeanieMania Night 1. Again, we will be back with you. Follow us on social media in the meantime, at Mind of the Meanie. I'm at Sosa Chernoff. He is at Blue Meanie BWO. And Mrs. Meanie can be found over at Treyfabe.
Treyfabe.
Who is that? Is that China?
China.
Nice.
China. She's actually, it's my first wrestling pop, you guys.
Oh, very cool.
China.
But
That's great.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and follow us on social media
too. Actually,
it could
follow
be
us on social media and use the promo code Meanie20 at manscaped.com.
Yeah, and subscribe right now to our YouTube, youtube.com/Mind of the Meanie. Mrs. Meanie's there a lot with some fun things. People do. Well, anyway, for the Blue Meanie, for Mrs. Meanie, I am Josh Chernoff. Thank you so much again. It is late. We are getting a little punchy here, and I think we're going to go hit the hay, as the kids say. Bye now.